Breaking news from the front lines. Russia just deployed its newest weapon system in a massive nighttime strike on Kyiv, the Oreshnik missiles. Moscow's latest high-precision arsenal, combined with devastating drone swarms, have completely changed the battlefield in the last 24 hours. Stay with us as we break down exactly what happened. Hello viewers, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're recovering the latest developments in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine based on information from Russian military sources. Please note that this report presents one perspective of the conflict, and we encourage viewers to seek multiple sources for a complete understanding of the situation. According to Russian sources, in the last 24 hours, the Russian armed forces launched a comprehensive wave of airstrikes against military and logistics centers in Ukraine. At the heart of this wave, it is reported that the Oreshnik missile systems, described as one of Moscow's newest high-precision weapons, were deployed with attacks targeting military infrastructure around Kyiv. Russian military circles emphasized that the operation's aim was to simultaneously suppress command and control nodes around the capital, engage air defense elements, and disrupt logistics lines being sent to the front. According to the information provided, the attack was launched during the night and executed within a multi-layered plan. In the first phase, the response of radar and early warning elements in the Kyiv region was measured through reconnaissance and electronic warfare activities conducted with unmanned aerial vehicles. This was followed by waves of auxiliary targets aimed at engaging air defense systems. Russian sources claim that after this stage, Oreshnik missiles were deployed and guided with high precision to designated military infrastructure points. It is claimed that the Oreshnik system, due to its high speed and advanced maneuverability, challenges defense measures as it approaches the target in the terminal phase, and that the warhead structure is optimized against hardened military facilities. The Russian side states that the missiles were used to strike military targets such as air defense positions, communication centers, and supply depots located around Kyiv. It is stated that the operation was planned in synchronization with the ongoing ground operations on the front and aimed to slow down military traffic around the capital. According to initial assessments from the field, there has been a noticeable decrease in military activity in the Kyiv region following the attack, and some units have reportedly been forced to regroup. Russian military commentators argue that this situation increases pressure on the front lines and makes it even more difficult for Ukrainian forces to manage their reserves. The same sources claim that such operations using Oreshnik missiles have a constant eroding effect on Ukraine's current air defense architecture. Sources close to Moscow say the attack was not a one-off demonstration, but rather part of a broader plan aimed at the gradual neutralization of military infrastructure around the capital. It is assessed that putting pressure on the nodes connecting Kyiv to areas near the front will reduce the operational tempo on the ground. The Russian side emphasizes that this approach aims to achieve superiority in strategic depth without directly burdening the front lines. In statements made after the operation, the message that Russia's new generation missile systems are being actively used on the field and that this will continue to impact military balances is highlighted. According to Russian sources, this attack on military targets around Kyiv is considered a current example of the integrated use of air and space elements with ground operations, and it is stated that similar operations of this nature could be seen in different regions in the coming period. Beyond the missile strikes, Russia continues to target not only the country's electrical and energy infrastructure, which has become a significant challenge for Ukraine, but also drone operator locations. In the Sumy region, locations where Ukrainian drone operators were working have been completely destroyed by Geran drones. Drone operations are widely used on the battlefield, causing significant damage to military infrastructure and proving to be quite successful. The use of Geran drones, whether they are Geran 3, 4, or 5 variants, completely destroyed the locations of drone operators in Ukraine's Sumy region. These attacks are causing substantial operational problems for Ukrainian forces. In addition to this, 15 Ukrainian soldiers were gathered on the front line in a location that appeared safe. A reconnaissance drone was monitoring them from above. Later, these positions were struck by precision munitions, resulting in casualties. The entire energy system is simultaneously being damaged by Geran drones. As mentioned, these attacks have various consequences across multiple regions. In the westernmost areas, all of the electrical infrastructure in Odessa, as well as in cities like Kryvyi Rih in the Dnipropetrovsk region, was severely damaged. Zaporizhzhia was also severely impacted. The Geran drones directly hit power substations, causing widespread problems and damaging the entire energy grid. The city of Zaporizhzhia was without electricity all day. These images show how Geran drones are destroying power plants around Ukraine, apparently reaching their targets without significant air defense interference. This situation is particularly evident in Zaporizhzhia, but it is not unique to that region. There are reports from different areas across the front experiencing similar attacks. However, the civilian population is growing tired not just of these attacks but of the conflict itself. We are witnessing demonstrations where Ukrainian people are taking to the streets as some cities and towns have been without electricity for almost a week. Protests are beginning to emerge in response to these conditions. Moving to the front lines, Russian drone forces continue their operations. UAV attack crews from the Russian Vostok group reportedly thwarted an enemy attempt at personnel rotation and ammunition delivery in the Zaporizhzhia region. The attacks destroyed armored fighting vehicles, trucks, and pickup trucks. Additionally, a precision strike from a Lancet loitering munition destroyed an American-made M113 armored personnel carrier. UAV operators from the Russian Center Force Group have been destroying Ukrainian armed forces personnel and robotic systems in the Krasnoarmeysk sector. Operations continue at every point along the front line. Near Kyiv, a crew operating a drone belonging to the Russian armed forces reportedly destroyed a Patriot anti-aircraft missile system, its launch platform, and an associated radar belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces. The footage of the attack shows what appears to be a carefully planned operation. As Ukraine experiences power loss in various regions, it faces challenging times in terms of maintaining air defense capabilities. Russian Air Force aircraft are carrying out attacks on Ukrainian armed forces positions using guided bombs launched from aircraft. FPV UAV crews from the Russian North Force Group destroyed a Ukrainian forces pickup truck near the contact line. Russian armed forces drone operators continue to target Ukrainian positions in the Seversk direction. FPV drones, which are reported to be immune to electronic warfare, are increasing psychological pressure on Ukrainian forces by destroying equipment, bunkers, and personnel with what is described as pinpoint accuracy. Artillery units of the Russian Southern Forces Group destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces UAV checkpoint in the Seversk direction. Grad multiple launch rocket system crews belonging to the 27th Guards Motorized Rifle Division of the Russian Central Forces Group destroyed a Ukrainian armed forces stronghold. Crews of Tulip self-propelled mortar belonging to the Russian Western Forces Group destroyed a headquarters and temporary deployment point of Ukrainian armed forces in the Kupiansk district of the Kharkiv region. Tank crews from the Russian Armed Forces Vostok unit destroyed positions and trenches belonging to the Ukrainian armed forces in the forests of the Zaporizhzhia region. Operators of Russian unmanned aerial vehicles and crews of Grad multiple launch rocket systems from the Marine Infantry Regiment of the Central Group destroyed positions of Ukrainian armed forces units through coordinated attacks. Footage has been released showing anti-drone battery operations, including the detection, targeting, and destruction of a Ukrainian drone. Images have been released of a group of Ukrainian soldiers, including officers, who surrendered. According to Russian sources, the soldiers belonging to a Ukrainian air defense brigade surrendered while attempting to advance towards Russian positions. Russian drone operators neutralized what was described as a poorly camouflaged Ukrainian vehicle in a snowy area. UAV operators from Russian volunteer troops destroyed Ukrainian armed forces personnel in various sectors. As a result of joint operations by Russian armed forces units in multiple directions, Ukrainian pickup trucks, Starlink satellite communication antennas, UAV control centers, and armored combat vehicles were reportedly neutralized. UAV crews struck Ukrainian artillery systems and other military vehicles. FPV drones from Russian forces have struck Ukrainian motorized and armored vehicles, ground-based robotic complexes, communication system elements, temporary deployment areas, and UAVs in the Special Military Operations Zone. Each strike reportedly weakens Ukrainian military strength while contributing to Russian offensive operations. Russian forces continue their operations in the direction of Zaporizhia. Airborne reconnaissance units are reported to be hunting down and destroying armored vehicles and pickup trucks with attack drones, supporting the advance of assault groups. Russian air defense crews destroyed heavy Ukrainian drones in the skies over the Zaporizhia region. Russian FPV drones destroyed mortar, attack drones, and enemy radio relay antennas in camouflaged firing positions in the Sumy region. Combat operations carried out by crews of Tulip self-propelled mortar against Ukrainian armed forces positions in the Kupiansk district demonstrated what Russian sources describe as the effectiveness of coordinated operations between drone reconnaissance and artillery strikes. Crews of self-propelled artillery systems struck Ukrainian UAV command centers deployed in forested areas in the Zaporizhia region. Anti-tank missile crews from Russian forces destroyed armored combat vehicles carrying Ukrainian military personnel with precision-guided missile strikes. Russian Special Forces fighters continue their operations, with FPV drone operators carrying out strikes across multiple sectors. These drone strikes have reportedly destroyed Ukrainian ground-based robotic systems, personnel, and vehicles. In the Seversk direction near specific locations, artillery units and drone operators destroyed trenches and pickup trucks used as fortifications by Ukrainian forces. Specialists from UAV units monitoring the front and rear lines identified moving and stationary targets. Direct hits from FPV drones and artillery shells reportedly destroyed the fortified positions. That concludes today's report on the latest developments from Russian military sources. We continuously monitor the situation and will bring you updates as they become available. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to follow our channel for the next updates on this ongoing conflict.